A fighter is only as great as the opponents he has beaten. In MMA, reputations are not built, but stolen. Call it the transitive property of hype. As far as names go, very few could bolster a resume better than Jose Aldo's, and it appears on Max Holloway's record twice. He beat the greatest featherweight of all time, and that's how we know he belongs up there on the pedestal beside him. But at UFC 245, Holloway will have a new and rare opportunity. He'll get to fight another man with a win over the GOAT. Alexander Volkanovski beat Aldo at UFC 237. His performance won't be remembered alongside Holloway's, not only because it came 2 years later, nor only because he did it just once. Volkanovski's win simply didn't look as good as Holloway's. There were no wild, desperate exchanges. There was no finish. Even the fact that Volkanovski, unlike Holloway, was never once hurt by Aldo only serves to render his win decidedly undramatic in comparison. But make no mistake, it was a brilliant performance and remains an immensely meaningful win. The thing is, Max Holloway is a bad matchup for Jose Aldo. A perfect foil. He owns an uncrackable chin, cleverly adjusts to almost any obstacle, and pushes an unmatched, if not entirely unmatchable pace. Styles make fights, and Holloway's style is designed from the ground up to beat Aldo's. Volkanovski is a different story altogether. A short-armed wrestler with rudimentary striking defense, he looks a lot less like Holloway than he does 3 or 4 of Aldo's many previous victims. So where Holloway enjoyed the luxury of playing a familiar, comfortable game against Aldo, Volkanovski had to do something entirely new. Feints were his foundation. From the first bell, Volkanovski fed Aldo a steady diet of feints, suggesting dozens of strikes every minute, while actually committing to very few. Where Holloway had used pressure and volume, both very real, to draw Aldo into a firefight he couldn't survive, Volkanovski merely mimicked volume and trapped him in a stalemate he couldn't solve. For the first half of the fight, Volkanovski landed little more than the periodic low kick, and rarely with much power. Yet Aldo was hardly landing at all. Baffled by feints and broken rhythm, frozen by indecision, Jose allowed Volkanovski to inch closer and closer with each passing minute, and before long found himself hesitating and second-guessing right on the end of the Australian's punches. But when Aldo did work up the nerve to put a few power shots together, he suddenly found himself dealing with Volkanovski's wrestling. Now, Aldo's takedown defense is among the best in MMA history. Wrestlers far better than Volkanovski have bounced off of his hips like raindrops off a windshield. He is virtually impossible to take and hold down. But Volkanovski didn't particularly care to take him down. Not once did he even attempt to shoot on Aldo's legs. To do so would have only wasted energy and given Aldo the chance to counter. Instead, he simply crashed into the clinch, drove Aldo to the fence, and held him there. As with the striking, Volkanovski used his wrestling to keep Aldo teetering uncertainly between defense and offense, rarely stinging him, but never once giving him the chance to sting back. In the end, Volkanovski won every round with ease. He outlanded Aldo 95-29. If it hadn't been such a deliberate, methodical performance, we would not hesitate to call it a domination. Max Holloway's wins over Aldo were undeniably more thrilling, but Volkanovski's may be the more impressive feat. After all, he did something he never has before, devised an unorthodox and counterintuitive game plan, and executed it to perfection. Beating Max Holloway at UFC 245 will require an entirely different approach, it's true. But so did beating Aldo.